sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
You ever get that feeling like when the game is on the line, clock's ticking down, your team's down by 2 points?
Oh, yeah.
It's like the tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife.
For sure.
The hopes of the whole city resting on one single play. It's like, that's the stuff of legends, right?
It is, absolutely.
And we saw both sides of that coin.
Yeah.
In this game with the Ravens and the Bills.
Absolutely.
This is what their tight end, Mark Andrews, found himself in during this game.
It's not just about physical prowess at that point. Yeah. It's really mental.
Yeah.
You know, being able to execute under that kind of pressure when the stakes are so high.
Well, and we saw that sometimes even the best players in the world, they can fold.
They do.
The Ravens ended up losing this game to the Bills, 27-25.
Yeah.
A real nail-biter.
It was.
But it was really those final minutes where things just really unraveled.
Yeah, they did.
For Andrews, and I'm sure for Ravens fans everywhere.
For sure. The Ravens were fighting back. They really needed those points to tie the game. And then, boom, these two crucial errors from Andrews.
Yeah.
Talk about a roller coaster of emotions.
First, the fumble near midfield.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine being in that stadium?
Oh, man. Crushing.
It's like you could just feel that groan from the fans. As soon as that ball hit the ground.
Collective groan.
Because it was a drive that could have shifted the momentum of the entire game.
Yeah.
And it just vanished.
In an instant.
Like that.
Yeah.
And as if that wasn't enough.
Brutal. Then came the drop 2-point conversion.
Right.
With barely a minute left on the clock. Talk about adding insult to injury.
I mean, agonizing. Agonizing.
It was a rough night.
It was.
For Andrews.
Yeah.
No question.
Tough to watch.
But here's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Instead of the blame game that we so often see in these situations, his coaches, his teammates
responded with this incredible outpouring of support.
Yeah. You don't always see that.
Right.
You know, even among teams that consider themselves close.
Right.
So that really speaks to, I think, the culture that they've built under Coach Harbaugh's leadership, you know?
Yeah.
Instead of letting that disappointment and frustration just fester, they actually rally around their teammate.
And it's Coach Harbaugh's statement that was so powerful.
It was.
He acknowledged the mistakes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Of course.
But then he went on to say, he really emphasized Mark's character, his work ethic, all his contributions to the team's success.
Sure.
I felt like it was such a deliberate move to not put the blame on any single player.
I think what was fascinating about Harbaugh's approach is he wasn't just protecting the player, he was also modeling a lesson about leadership and resilience. He was saying, you know, look, everybody makes mistakes.
Right.
What defines you is how you bounce back. Yeah.
And that message, you know, it can resonate, not just in the team, but with the fans as well.
And that message seemed to resonate with the team itself. I mean, you have Isaiah Likely, another tight end on the team, who called Andrews a a mentor, which, you know, it really speaks to the kind of respect he has in that locker room.
Yeah. And Likely wasn't dismissing the significance of those errors.
Right.
But he put them into context.
Yeah.
You know, he was saying, this is a guy that consistently delivers, who leads by example.
Yeah.
Who, yes, he's human. He makes mistakes.
Right.
But that doesn't erase his value to the team.
Yeah.
Or diminish his contributions.
Right.
It's a really nuanced perspective. I think a lot of fans can appreciate that.
Yeah. And you can't just define a player by one game.
Right.
Andrews had an incredible season.
He did.
Overall.
Yeah.
I mean, he leads all NFL tight ends.
That's right.
With 11 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stellar. So, you know, this game might be the one that sticks in everyone's memory for a while.
Yeah.
But it doesn't tell the whole story.
Some goal game, even a playoff game, shouldn't overshadow a whole season of achievements.
Right. And then you have Lamar Jackson, who's, you know, the star quarterback of this team.
Right.
Who also weighed in on the situation, refused to point any fingers at Andrews. He said, look, the loss was on all of us.
Yeah.
It's a collective responsibility.
Right.
We all had a part in this.
I think what's really striking about Lamar Jackson's response was the empathy. You know, he knows what it's like to be under the microscope.
Yeah.
To be scrutinized.
Yeah.
He's not going to single out a teammate when things go wrong.
Well, it just goes to show that this Ravens team is more than just a collection of individuals.
Absolutely.
I mean, these guys, they really have each other's backs.
Yeah.
especially when things get tough.
For sure. It's a good example.
I mean, this isn't just a story about a playoff loss.
Right.
This is a story about team culture.
Exactly.
And how that can really impact a team moving forward.
And it raises an interesting question, like how often do we see this in life? Not just in sports. This genuine support in the face of adversity. It's a powerful reminder. True leadership involves picking each other up, learning from those mistakes, moving forward together.
Now, you might be wondering, how does this actually play out? How does this happen in a high-pressure environment?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to dive into that a little bit, people.
Okay.
Right after this.
I think it really speaks to the leadership, both from the coaching staff, but from the locker room itself.
Yeah.
Like they've cultivated this environment where vulnerability isn't weakness. It's actually an opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
And for support. You know, that's
pretty rare.
It is. Especially in pro sports.
Yeah, it's such a cutthroat world.
Yeah.
But they've managed to do it.
They have.
And just imagine being a fan.
Yeah.
A young athlete looking up to these guys.
For sure.
And seeing this.
Yeah.
It's got to send a powerful message. Even the best.
Even the best.
Mess up.
Yeah.
And it's how you bounce back.
Right.
That really matters.
It's not about avoiding failure altogether.
Right.
It's about navigating those setbacks when they come.
Yeah.
And having people to help you get back up.
And this isn't just about pro athletes, is it?
Not. No.
I mean, we all face these moments.
For sure.
At work.
Sure, personally.
Even just a bad day.
Right. Where we just feel like we've come up short.
Totally.
And how often do we isolate ourselves in those moments instead of reaching out?
It's so easy to retreat when things go wrong.
Into self-doubt.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the Ravens are showing us the power of community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The power of having people to pick you up.
Right.
To help you move forward.
It's a reminder we don't have to go through these things alone.
No.
Right. There's strength in being vulnerable.
For sure.
And admitting when we struggle.
Right.
And asking for help.
Yeah.
And sometimes that support comes from unexpected places.
Think about the fans in this.
Right.
Ravens fans, they're known for their passionate support.
Yeah, they are.
And I'm sure they're feeling the sting of this loss.
Oh, yeah.
But I think a lot of them are feeling empathy for Mark Andrews, too. They saw him give it everything he had.
Yeah.
Even if it didn't work out.
It didn't end in a win.
Yeah.
But it just highlights the power of sports.
It does.
It brings people together.
It does, yeah.
Even in these moments of disappointment.
I'd say that shared adversity is even more powerful than victory sometimes. It's when we see what a team is really made of.
Yeah.
What a community is made of.
And the Ravens are a good example of that.
They are, yeah.
So where do they go from here?
Right.
I mean, they've got a long offseason ahead of them.
Sure do.
They've got a lot of decisions to make.
About personnel. Coaching. The future of Lamar Jackson.
Right.
It's tough to say what the future holds.
Yeah.
But this experience, this adversity, could make them even stronger.
Yeah.
I mean, they faced it head on.
Yeah.
They kept their values intact.
Yeah.
Their commitment to each other was unshaken.
Yeah.
That's a powerful foundation.
It really is.
To build on.
It's a reminder that sometimes the most valuable lessons aren't learned from victory, but from defeat.
Yeah. You learn more from your losses than your wins sometimes.
And that's something we can all relate to, right?
Absolutely. It's not about being perfect or avoiding failure. It's about how we respond to those failures, how we learn from them, and how we support each other along the way. And what's so striking about the Ravens is that they've translated those values into a tangible, observable culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they turned this loss into a statement.
Exactly.
About who they are as a team.
And that resonates far beyond sports.
And to bring it back to you, our listener.
Yeah.
Have you thought about this?
How does this apply to your life?
Yeah.
Think about a time when you faced a setback. A time when you felt like you came up short.
Yeah.
Did you receive support or criticism? How did that impact you?
It's like those moments where we stumble and fall that we learn the most.
And the Ravens, their response to this playoff loss is a powerful reminder. Even in defeat, there's an opportunity to grow, to connect, to reaffirm the values that really matter.
Right. Yeah. This is a story about resilience.
It is.
It's a story about empathy.
Yeah.
About the human spirit.
And how it endures.
Yeah.
Both individually and collectively.
Yeah.
It's a really powerful story.
Well, that about wraps up our deep dive
Okay.
into the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
Their recent playoff loss.
Tough loss.
And what we can all learn from it. Hopefully this exploration has given you some food for thought.
Food for thought, for sure.
And maybe a little inspiration for your own life. Makes you wonder, right? Can we find that same level of support?
It's a challenge.
In our own lives?
It is.
You know, that same sense of resilience.
But I think the Ravens give us a good model for how to approach that.
Yeah.
You know, they demonstrate that clear communication, that open dialogue, and a shared commitment.
It's not just about seeing the right words, is it?
It's not. You got to back it up with actions and empathy and a willingness to put the team above yourself, ego, all that.
All of that.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you want our listeners to walk away with?
Setbacks happen to everybody.
Yeah.
But it's not the setbacks.
Right.
It's how we respond to them. The Ravens show us, even when things are disappointing, there's an opportunity to reaffirm what we believe in.
Yeah.
You know, to strengthen our bonds and to get stronger as a unit.
Right. It's like we don't have to face these things alone.
We don't.
Even in defeat, there are lessons to be learned.
Absolutely.
So next time you're facing a challenge on the field, at work, in your personal life, remember the Ravens.
Yeah. Remember that support.
Yeah.
That empathy.
And that commitment to something bigger than yourself.
Right.
Well, that's all the time we have
for
today's deep dive.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed this exploration
of the Ravens
and their playoff loss and their response to that.
And what we can learn from it.
Yeah. And maybe you can take some of that with you.
Into your own life.
Into your own life.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have a ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what